Hello everyone, myself Ami Mehta and here we discuss different categories of function. Okay, so there are five types of categories. Let us discuss it one by one. So functions can be classified in one of the following category based on whether arguments are present or not and whether value is returned or not. So based on these two parameters, return value and argument or parameters, there is a total five category. So function with no arguments and no return value. Function with no arguments but return a value. Function with arguments and no return value. And function with arguments and one return value. And the last one is functions that return multiple values using pointer. So let us discuss it one by one. So first we saw the function with no arguments and no return value. So when a function has no argument, it does not receive any data from calling function. Okay, so no argument which means that it not given any argument or value to the function. Okay, so it does not receive any data from the calling function, and when it does not return a value, the calling function does not receive any data from the called function. So in fact there is no data transfer between the calling function and called function. So here uh, there is a very good demonstration that here actually void main. Okay, so void main, which means it does this main function. Now in that function 1. Okay, so here actually function calling. So no input is given to the function 1, and from that we cannot get any output because no argument passing and no returning value. So whenever here we call the function 1, we are not passing any argument. So here it is actually not getting any value from calling function and it does not return any value. Okay, now let us see the example for that. We start our turbo C. Okay, first what we do, we include our header files. Now we declare function not retaining any value. So for that return type is void and the name of the function print line in bracket. It is not compulsory to write void here, but for understanding we just simply write that. Okay, so no argument and no return value. Okay, and actually it is function declaration. Okay, now we declare our main function. So you can declare and define function combinedly also. Okay, so now void main to clear the output of previous programs, and now we write print line. So this is function calling and we are not passing any argument. Okay, So this is our program in which we are not any argument passing and it function not given any return value. Now we print something like suppose good morning. Okay, so and here our program is over. Now we define function. So it is void print line and we simply write hello. So we are simply printing. So it does not return any value but just it print the statement. Okay. So this is actually function definition. Okay. So here void means we are not given any argument and we are not returning any value. Now let us see the output. Hello, good morning. So simply the statement they are printing which we written in the printf statement. Okay. So this is one type of function that function with no arguments and uh, not returning any value. Now let us discuss the second one. So function with no arguments but returning a value. Okay. So we quit and we back to our program. Okay. So now our next is function with no arguments and return a value. So when a function has no argument, it does not receive any data from calling function. But when a function has a return value, the calling function receives one data from the called function. So actually basically calling function does not given any input to the function, but the function return an value to the called function. Okay, so let us see example of this so that the idea will be more clear how actually the function with no arguments and returning one value is work. So let us see one another example. Okay, so the in this program we do not given arguments but the function return a value. So first thing we do including header file, because we want to use the function of it, it is a compulsory in all the program. Now we declare. So now here why we return integer, because this function return a value. Okay, so integer, suppose get value the name of the function. Now here void, because there is no argument passing. Okay, so this is no argument return a value, and it is actually function declaration. Okay, now we declare our main function. Okay, now what we do, we store the value which is written from the function. Okay, so for that we have took one variable m and we are storing in that get value. Okay, so this is the function calling, and now we are printing that value. So here our main function is over. Now we define our function. So here there is no argument, and actually it is the function definition. Okay, now what we do, we are simply taking one number and get the value from user that enter some number. So mainly in this program what we want to focus is that it in some program there is returning value, there is a no argument, in some program there is no argument, no return value. So we are not using some complicated logic programs, but we simply demonstrate that this program is for returning a value, but there is no argument. Okay, so we simply took a value from user and just display it. Okay, so or display some lines. So no complicated logic, but to demonstrate this various types of functions. So here we enter number and then scan that number or store that number in the variable number. Okay, and now so whenever you want to store user's value into particular variable, in you have to use ampersand sign, okay, before the variable name, and now it return that number. Okay, and this is over of program. Now so enter number 20. So let us compile now and run program. So suppose we enter 20, so it display the 20. So basically what happens whenever here function calling, so it controls goes to this function definition. So it declare variable number, then user enter some number and it return number here actually, and it store that number into m, and here they print the value m. Okay, so this is two types of function type we actually saw: function with no arguments and no return value, and second one is function with no arguments but return a value. Okay, thank you.